So you want to buy a residential property in the United Kingdom and you're confused. You don't know whether to go buy a new build or an old building. You're not even sure why people make that decision. This video is all about that. I am going to try and break it all down for you so that by the end of this video, you'll be able to make a decision. Hello, my name is Atinuka. Welcome to my channel, and if you're new, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you really love my content or you're here to support me. So today, like I said, we're talking about whether to buy a new building or an old building in the United Kingdom. The names are pretty much self-explanatory. A new build is a new building, an old build is an old building. Most old buildings, many of them have been built years ago, 100 years. You've got Edwardian houses, you've got Victorian houses, you've got Georgian houses. And I think that a new build also become an old build after about 10 years, I believe. A new build is all new. You're buying from a developer. They've got a plot of land, they've got planning on it. This is what they want to build. Semi-detached, detached, terrace, townhouse. They've already gotten planning for how the shell of the house is going to look. Yeah, and you then reserve a plot with the developer you choose. You make your research, read reviews on whichever developer you want to go for in your area. It is all shiny. You've got brand new everything, brand new plumbing, brand new wiring. The appliances are new. The plastering is fresh. You know, the smell of something fresh. Now, the number one advantage of new build is that it is low maintenance. You don't have to worry about your boiler breaking down or something wrong with your plumbing, especially if you actually got a snagger. I think that's what they are called. It's like a snagging farm. So what they do is that they come into the new build. You have to pay extra for that, by the way, to make sure that everything that the developer has built is up to some certain standard. So number two is that new build, still following on that trend of everything being new, it comes with, I think, 10 years warranty, I believe. Yes, 10 years for warranty. So if anything comes up that needs to be addressed, it means that your developer will be able to address it without you doing it out of pocket. Whether you now go with a responsive developer, that's another matter entirely. But it is usually under a 10 years warranty. Now, onto the third advantage, it is usually energy efficient, which in turn can save you money with your energy. I'm talking about your eating bills. Because of the new regulations that were not available when old buildings were being built, you know, the building regulations review the regulation of how the standard they want a house to be like constantly. It's not yearly, but you know, there've been some improvements in the regulation. So every developer, every building is held to that standard. Yeah, because if it is not built to that standard, building regulation won't pass it. So you're talking all the walls in new building, they are insulated. There's a specific amount of insulation that they need to put in it. They're insulated, the roof are insulated. Some of them even get, I think there's a new regulation coming up about putting solar panels on new buildings as well. It's going to cost less to actually eat it during the winter. So now here is the thing, why new builds are super convenient. There are some downsides, at least from my own personal perspective. A developer is always trying to maximize the amount of space that they've got. They want to get the best. They want to maximize every inch. So sometimes, for example, your new build garden might not be as long or as big as a typical old build. The house itself might also be smaller. Number two is that the price tag. The price tag that they put on new build sometimes is not really worth it. I don't think that's the word I want to use. Not like it's not worth it. It's just like it already comes with like an expensive price tag on it. The developer will make their profits. Sometimes they're even buying the lands from people that do planning uplifts. Those ones have already made their money. they need to get their money back for buying the land, they need to get their money back for building, and they need to get profits. Nobody is into developing without looking for profit. You don't really have comparables like that unless if you are buying a new build that is not from a developer, then you would have comparables. Hence, new build does not always hold its value in the first few years. It's like buying a brand new car, driving it out of the garage, and it's lost its value. And number 3, lastly, I think that you're going to see my bias showing in this third reason. It is that I feel like new build feels so plasticky, like they lack some form of character. They don't have that character that compared to old buildings, you know. They don't have that, you know. You get what I mean? I feel like they always feel like a box to me, like a boxy place. Honestly, that's just me. That's just my personal bias shining through. So they don't have the period features that old building might like. I know that is not everybody's cup of tea. People don't want that. They want contemporary all through. But there's a way you can do contemporary that is still going to look nice. Yeah, you're still going to keep some features of your house. Anyway, that's that for new builds. Now on to old builds, which, if you can tell, is my personal favorite. I love old buildings. Okay, so old buildings, I think one myth I just need to, before we start, is to what's the word you use when you want to break a myth? What do you want to do? I can't remember, but I just want to erase that myth from your head. Let's use that for now. Is that old building does not mean that it is dilapidated. Big word. Old building does not mean that it is dilapidated. You don't always have to do a lot of work, so any works at all when buying a old building. Depends on what year it was built. Like I said earlier on, a new build that you buy now is already, in 10 years, it's already a old building. Okay, so I'm just going to pick it off from the last bit about old building, the advantages of an old building. I'm going to pick it up from the last part of the new build, is the fact that they've got amazing features. That's the truth. You can't beat it. They've got period features, a nice fireplace, high ceilings, bay windows, nice big bay windows that had character to the house. I can go on and on. So that's number 1 advantage of old build to me. Number 2, when you buy an old building, there's always room to add value, because you must have also got it for not cheap, but compared to buying a new build, you must have gotten it for a very good price. You know your way around things, which I'm going to be talking about later in series of my videos. You then able to add serious value to the property, so that the value of the property and your equity in the property can increase significantly. More on that later on. One thing I'm not going to do is to sugarcoat that old build is the best thing, just like I did not sugarcoat that new build is the best thing since sliced bread. Number 1 downside of old build is, if you're doing any serious renovations, take it from from someone that did 2 renovations back to back at the same time in the same period. Make sure that you account for unexpected costs. That thing, no matter how you plan, you can plan to the T. Just know that unexpected costs will raise its heads. If you like, get builders, get 100 builders and get quotes from there. Choose your builder that is very honest. No matter what, you are going to get honest. So you're going to uproot something. You're going to see one lintel that needs to be broken down, that needs to be changed entirely, one beam that is not suitable, especially when you're doing extensive renovation. Just know, this is what you should do. Your cost and a cushion. Your actual cost that you think is going to cost after bringing out your Excel sheets, your builder, you've gotten quotes, you've got labor quotes, you've got building material quotes. then take out an extra money, about 10% of the total cost that you are sure is going to cost you, and then lay that aside and add it as part of the cost that would eventually happen, because it will. Skip will not be enough. Yeah, you need more skip. Okay, that's that. And like costs, let's talk about timing. If your builder says that it's just going to take 3 weeks, add 1 more week. If it says it's just going to take 4 months, add 1 more month. If it says it's going to take 6 months, add 2 months in your head. Don't let them know. Add 2 months to it, because be certain that that is how long it's going to take. It's not going to take the time that you envisage or that you agreed with your builder that is going to take. Add to it. Add to it. Don't be disappointed. So now expanding on this, we need to talk about if you feel like there are 2 things you can do when you buy a house and you're renovating it. You can stay in it and renovate, deal with the dust, deal with the chaos. Or if you think that that is going to work for you, you can stand it, that's fine, you can go with that. But you need to be prepared. You need to prepare your mind, the actual fact that there's going to be chaos. Number 2 is the fact that you might want to still be, say it is your first home and you are still renting. You might need to consider the fact that you would be paying rent and be paying your mortgage at the same time, because your mortgage lender is not going to say that because you are borrowing, you are renovating your house before you move into it, they are going to stop your lending. So you need to consider that as part of your cost as well. Or if it is your second house, you already live in, perhaps you don't need to sell to move and you're still living in the mortgage property, consider the fact that you'll be paying 2 mortgage at the same time. So you need to add that to your cost. At the end of a renovation, it always looks as glamorous as a new build. The only difference is that for new build, you can move into it straight away when the developer are done, the day of the completion, you can move straight to it. But when you buy your house and you want to renovate it, you're not moving straight to. For some people, they don't move straight to it, but sometimes you can move into it before you start the renovation or while the renovation is still going on. But let's talk about the stress level of actually managing contractors, especially if you are not contracting to one firm or hiring a project manager. You are going to be the project manager. God help you if you have a job, a 9-to-5 job. You are going to have to manage the electrician separately, manage the plumber, manage the builder, manage the floor layer, manage the painter separately. You need to consider sometimes some people, it's too tough. It's not something that they can manage. But you need to lay your cards on the table and say that the financial gains that I'm going to get, because if you buy right and you plan your renovation well, I can talk about that later. But if you buy the right building and you do the right work in it, you would most likely get financial gains. Now, how much you're going to get in comparison to the stress that you're going to go through, that's left for you to decide. So new build, old build is a matter of circumstances and preference and your goal. At least I've laid the cards on the table for you to decide. Let me know if you find value in this video. Thank you so much for watching once again. I really want to hear from you. Drop me a comment down below on whether you are team new build or team old build, and tell me why. I really want to read your perspective. As for me, I love old buildings. It's stressful, it's challenging, but number 1, I love the financial gains that comes with it. Number 2, I love the experience that comes with it. Trust me, it gets better the more you do. But for people that don't want to do more, it's just one of their residential building, they might not find that one reason enough beneficial to buy it. But for me, I love turning beautiful places. The joy of seeing something that has being neglected, rebuked, repurposed, new visions. It drives me. I also appreciate that not everybody can see the vision of what an old building can become, and that is totally fine. Don't forget to like, share with someone you think will benefit from this, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.